Do you know something?
Do you know something?
I might know something.
I might know something too.
What is the goal of Buddhism? If you're new to Buddhism, this would be a great video for you. Or just curious, this would be good too. But if you've been practicing a long time, like I have, you may find that some of the ideas here might surprise you when you look at the whole scope of this ultimate goal of Buddhism. So Buddha wanted living beings not to have problems and pain. We know, we've heard this, right? Life's pervaded by suffering. But actually, Buddha gave a diagnosis, life's pervaded by suffering, but also the prognosis is good. So we don't have to suffer. We can attain a state that is blissful, actually. Awakening then is the ultimate goal, enlightenment, right? Buddha, he never spoke about a God, nor did he consider himself a God. In fact, people, when they saw Buddha, they would sometimes think he seemed so unearthly. There was something about him that was really, really special. So they would ask him things like, "Are you a God?" I know. Can you imagine someone asking you that on the street? He would just reply, "No, I'm not a God." "Are you an angel?" "No, I'm not an angel." "What are you then?" Oh, what a question. Sometimes I get a question like this, "What are you?" No, I really don't. But you can imagine this is something special this person seems to be. But he would say, "I'm just awake. I'm like all other humans. I'm just awake, awakened from the dream of ignorance." And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, if the goal is Buddhahood, and by the way, there are many Buddhas. We don't worship Buddha like a god, Buddhists, and we think there are many, many Buddhas. We just don't know they're Buddhas, or maybe they're Buddhas on other world systems. I know, we believe in other world systems. Yeah, it's cool, huh? The point of it is that awakening is available to every living being. We believe everyone has Buddha nature. They're never stuck. In fact, everyone is headed towards enlightenment now or later. And the reason being is that everyone wants to be happy and nobody wants to suffer. We just haven't figured out how. What is the best way? What is the real way that we can be happy all the time and not suffer? We haven't figured that out. But when we figure it out, we're going to do it. And Buddha, he taught this gradual path to enlightenment. Now, in my tradition of Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, or Mahayana Buddhism, same lineage as the Dalai Lama, our goal in that tradition is to help every living being find lasting happiness and freedom from pain and sorrow. Thus, our goal is actually for other living beings. We want other living beings not to suffer. But we think we have to attain our own enlightenment in order to be of the greatest benefit to others. So that goal there is still enlightenment, but there's a secondary reason for it. We don't want anyone to suffer. No one. And there is also the goal of Buddhism for the individual that maybe doesn't even think, "Oh, I want to attain enlightenment." And that's too far out for me. Or maybe you're a different religion. You know, when Buddha taught, he taught for over 40 years. He always taught according to the inclinations of the people he was speaking to. So if he was speaking to a Hindu Brahmin and they asked him, "How do you meet Brahma? How do you become one with God, essentially? How do you become one with God?" And he said, you have to become like God. You have to become his essence. So you would train in the four immeasurables: immeasurable love, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable joy, and immeasurable equanimity, having equal love for all beings, essentially equality of mind And this is just one example of how Buddha always taught in accordance with the disposition of whomever he's speaking to. And nowadays, we can be Buddhist or train in Buddhism, train our mind to become more peaceful, to become happier, to free our minds from habits like uncontrolled anger or jealousy, pride, whatever it might be. We can train in those things without actually being Buddhist. That's where you hear things like Jubu, a little connecting the two, Jewish and Buddhist. I know, I love that kind of stuff. So you can be anything that you want to be and also practice the way of life of Buddhism. And in that case, the goal of Buddhism is just to help someone feel better, to live better, to have more ethical discipline in their life so they don't harm themselves and others so much with uncontrolled minds. These are the goals of Buddhism, and they're open to everyone. And how you attain this goal, I'll just give you a little insight into it, is that you realize the true nature of our reality. Buddha said that we don't experience our reality the way it actually is. It's more like the way you have a dream. It's a projection of mind. Like when we're dreaming, we don't know we're dreaming, do we? If we knew we were dreaming, we wouldn't get scared in our dream. We'd never have a nightmare. What we do, in fact, get very scared. Or we'd never fall in love in our dream. One time I fell in love in my dream in like some news anchor. And then there was like, we were at a carnival and I was dancing with a bear. And it was so amazing. I was really dancing with a bear. And I woke up, I didn't think, oh my gosh, where is the bear? Where is my beloved? Where is the news anchor? Where are they in my room? We don't think that because we know it's a dream. But right now, living beings don't realize that our waking life, our waking mind is exactly like a dream, except that we share it with others. But it is our projection of mind. Just as our dream last night is so uniquely ours. The waking world that we experience, our world, is uniquely ours because it's completely created by our own mind. And because we don't realize this and we don't see reality actually as it is, we misperceive things, and that causes us all kinds of trouble. We get angry at things, not realizing that we create those unpleasant qualities, by our perception, by our discrimination of others and things. We create beauty. We create it by our own perception, discrimination of things. Our own karma, creates that. And when we realize emptiness of inherent existence, that is when we attain actual awakening. We wake up from this dream of ignorance and we stop seeing things in the wrong way, seeing what's not there. It's kind of like my partner, Missy, took my dogs for a walk recently, and it was 10:30 at night, and I don't know why I didn't go. I almost always go, but I must have had a headache or something. So she's going around the block, and she has her headlamp on, a headlamp. And the reason she's got her headlamp on is because she's looking at all the spiders, millions of spiders in the South Florida lawns. I don't know if you've had this experience, but if you look with a flashlight or a high-powered headlamp, and you look just in the right way, you see all their eyes glittering back at you, and it looks like a glittering landscape full of glitter or fairies or something very cool. It is really cool. She was looking around at lawns innocently. She came upon our friend's house, one of our good friends in the neighborhood, and she sees somebody's parked in their yard, which is a little odd. And then she thinks what she's seeing is somebody that has some top on that looks sheer. So it looks like there's this topless 70-something lady in our friend's yard. And she starts to try to see it. What is she seeing? She must not be perceiving a naked woman. So she's zooming, kind of not zooming in, but she's, going forward, putting her little head forward and her headlamp shining right in the lady's. And she's realizing she gets close enough, her eyes see that it is actually a half naked 70-year-old lady. And I know some of you are thinking, only in Florida. And you might be right, only in Florida. But she texts our friend. She's like, why is there this half naked woman in your yard? And he's like, oh my gosh, hold on, I'm coming. No, he found out about it. And turns out the neighbor across the street is a nudist and was having a nudist party where the participants are supposed to leave fully clothed. But I guess that didn't work out and they got busted. And it was so great. And I wish I had seen it because they also seem like the most pure, wholesome, not that it isn't, I don't know, but it was just a wonderful sort of discovery for us about our neighbor around the corner. And what I think about this being similar is that she couldn't tell what she was seeing. She thought she must be seeing someone that is just in a nude, tight shirt. She couldn't see clearly. And similarly, Buddha said, we're all not seeing clearly. We're not seeing what's right in front of us. And we have to shine the light of wisdom on our experiences to see what's really happening, that there is no person that's inherently bad. There's no person that is independent of how we perceive them and even ourselves. This, in short, is the goal of Buddhism, to be able to see clearly, realize reality, live in that reality, and wake up and help everyone else wake up eventually. All right, if you like this, please gently hit the like and subscribe and look at where else you can find our community, Buddhism for Everyone. Thank you.